How you doing, everybody? Beerman here. Welcome back to some more Medieval Dynasty in this guided Let's Play. Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a great day. What do we got to do today? Well, let's look back at what we have done. We've got this. We've got our super amazing little house here and our unbelievable and amazing well where we can drink. And all the way over here across the road, we have this very incredible carrot farm. Have a look at this. See it? Boom. Lovely. And what do we need to do now? Today's video is going to be all about getting our first villager. And villagers are a tricky situation. They're a blessing and a curse in some ways. They will help you. They'll automate, do things for you, but you need to provide for them. Otherwise, they won't. They have a happiness level and all sorts of stuff like that. We'll get into that at another video. But today, we're going to concentrate on what it takes to bring them in. First and foremost, a new villager or any villager requires a place to stay. So they need a house. We got to build them a house. Then they need a job, because if they're not doing something, why in the world would they come live with you? That's what all these medievalers need. Just things to do so that way they can make money. Now, in order for them to live in your village, not only do they need a job, they need resources. Resources will include the things like the tools to do their jobs. They will need food, they will need firewood, and things like that. So we need to prepare ourselves to get our first villager. Where do we start? We're going to start with building a house. And I'm going to try to build a house right over here. So I'm going to try to keep the houses kind of sort of along this river. If you look where I'm at here, where am I? There. So we're just going to follow this kind of a pattern here. And then we'll build all of our resources, jobbing kind of things out this way. So let me get started and clear this area a bit, and then we'll put our first house here. And there we have it. There's our first, our second house, our first house for our first villager. There are a few things we can do. If we go into N and we click on this, you notice this house here with our blue, that is our house. This house here, 100% is not assigned to anybody. We can actually change the name of the house from simple small house. We'll do that in a bit, and you'll see why I suggest doing it. You don't have to, but I find it helps me to understand what we're going to do. And we can assign this house to a player. You can also do that right from here. It just opens up this screen and it helps you out. Okay, so we have a place for a villager to live. We have nothing for them to do. They're going to be bored, and so they're not going to want to come live with us. What job should we give them? Now, there are a few that we can do. We can give them a farming job. We can give them logging. You can give them hunting or fishing. There are a variety of what they call extraction skills, where they just run around gathering. So picking up sticks, gathering herbs all over the place, and things like that. Or you can do crafting type of stuff where you have a workshop. They build stuff for you and things like that. They can be farmers. They can go out hunting. They can go fishing. Like I said, you got all sorts of choices. My suggestion to start is definitely go with, let's take a look. But we go into our T. You can see that because of the amount of building we've done, we've unlocked the well. We have unlocked resource storage, which we'll come back to. And we have unlocked the woodshed. That recently happened while I was building that house. This is a vital building because it is, workers here will provide logs and sticks as well as firewood, planks, which can be crafted here. So if we get this woodshed up, we can bring somebody in the village and they can run around gathering logs for us, sticks for us. They can create planks, which will become important when we want to make water buckets and things like that. And we don't have to do it anymore. The good news is they don't actually chop trees down when they do it. They just magically appear which is very cool. So we don't have to, deforest the place anymore. They'll just gather us some magic logs and some magic sticks and things like that. So when we were trying to expand our place, we have some of the resources already in our hand to do so. So let's do that. Let's get ourselves our first job building, and this one is going to be under buildings, and this will be an extraction. So as you can see, we can do the well, which we already have, woodshed 1, woodshed 2, which we can't do, an evacuation shed, which is mining. We're not quite ready for that, and mine. Yeah, these are all higher level kind of stuff. So we're going to start with a woodshed. Now we have to decide where we want to place it. Right, where do I want to do it? We've got our houses that kind of go along here. Now this is just a mini village. It's not going to be a big village. We'll probably end up building a bigger village somewhere else, but this is our starter village. We need to get things going, and we want farm. Now we want a woodshed. We could put all of our worker buildings over here, which might make sense, and then we just put a rather extraction kind of buildings here, which would also make sense. But I think this one will be for resources, and I'll show you what I mean. And this one will just go along here with our extraction type of buildings, which this is. So to do that, we want to kind of sort of come over here. I may have to chop that tree. Let's get back into bring up our hammer queue, buildings, extraction, and woodshed. And I want to kind of sort of put it all the way back towards the water. We can rotate with Q and E slightly. Let's do that. That looks good. Boom. There it is. Now let's go get all the stuff we need to start building it. All right, here we go. Let's just finish up our little woodshed. And once we hit this, boom, done. We have a woodshed. It's great news. This woodshed again. Yeah, so you got this little workstation here, carpenter's rack, where you can make planks and firewood. We're not going to do that. We're going to have somebody do that. And there is a storage. Now, in order for our first villager to work here, they need axes. A whole bunch of axes. And we can technically put them in here, and we will allow them to, all their wood that they gather will go here, and we'd have to keep running all over here to do that. And the more resource extraction buildings, job places you have, you'd have to run to each individual place. That can work. It's okay. And you know what? To start off, we might just do that. Simply because that it gets us up and running, and we'll have somebody out gathering some resources for us, because we're going to need lots of logs. And what we're going to need lots of logs for is our central storage. And if we go here, you can see buildings, and there is storages. Our first one is a resource storage, and that requires a lot of logs. It's a big building to build, and we could manually go around there whacking trees down, deforesting the whole place. But if we just decide to let our first villager do that, it gets us a jump start, and we can manage them through here until we get that resource storage up and running and do that. Okay, so we're nearly there. We're getting closer. We need some firewood. We have no logs on us. Oops, sorry. If I go to I, go here, you can say, I've got no logs. And if you go to N management under, just hit N management, you'll notice that these are demands that will happen from our villagers. They'll demand food, they'll demand water, they will demand some wood. The reason why there is no demand currently is because we have no villagers. So clearly we have no demand, and we have no central resource storage, so it will not show up as having anything to provide for people. So wood, which is firewood, water, and food. In order to provide for them, what we have to do is put all their food and wood into this storage chest of their house. and it won't show up here that we have anything until we have essential resource storage, but the demand will definitely show up. So you're going to have to manually kind of watch over this as we go forward. But basically, if we go whack a couple trees and make some firewood, tell you what, I'm going to whack this tree here because it's kind of sort of in the way of my extraction. Oh my goodness. Now I'm going to have to make something, right? Let me get some stones and make myself another. Well, I have to make a couple axes anyway, so that's really good news because the woodshed here, the worker will need a couple stone axes. So let me run around and gather some stuff and things and make myself some axes. I'll make my personal axe and I'll make some axes for our first villager as well. And we're back, and I have made myself 6 stone axes, but I'm going to put 5 of those babies into the chest here so they have tools. I am going to go over to the carpenter's rack and I am going to craft some firewood. I can't remember how many it makes off of one log, but we will find out. Let's have a look. Let's look in our inventory here. And as you can see, it makes 4. So I'm going to chop up these 2. So that'll give us 12. That should be enough for now until we get our first villager making stuff. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take those logs and we're going to stick them in to here into our simple chest. There it is, firewood, boom. And we are also going to stick some food in here. I've got dried meat, I've got roasted meat. For now, we'll just put some roasted meat. We're going to have to get some more food. This isn't going to be enough. No rabbits have popped up yet, but they will soon. So I'm going to do that, get through the night, and I'll bring you back tomorrow. And we're back. It's the next day. It's raining, and I think we're just about ready to get our first villager. But let's run down what we needed. What we needed was place for the villager to live. In the villager's chest, I have 7 roasted meat. I have 12 firewood and 1 bucket of water. That works. That's enough for them. They have a job to do, which is being a woodcutter. And they have 5 stone axes in the chest in the woodshed. I think we might be, you know what? I feel like I should move this back to here. Might be a better choice, but we'll move that in a bit. I can do that off camera. Okay, let's go to town and get our first villager. We're going to go to Piastoria and have a look. Now, I think just outside of the village or town, there's like a campsite if you look here, and I think that's where they sit. And I'll tell you how to decide what one we want to get. But in the meantime, notice here, I got a new skill, and it is in the production skill. So crafting knowledge, 5% more experience gained from using workshop and smithy workstations, which is cool. We don't use that many. 5% gained from sewing hut workstation and kitchen workstation. I'm going to go with the cooking because I'm going to end up doing a lot of cooking for now. So let's increase that level and boom. Okay, let's head into Piastoria and figure out who we're going to bring in. All right, here we are at that camp that I referred to. And here are 1, 2, 3, 4 people sitting around. There's a few things you can do when trying to figure out which villager you want. Remember, we're looking for somebody with extraction skills because we want to gather lots of wood. And if you click on N, you see people. Here are your professions. You have extraction, you have hunting, you have farming, you have diplomacy, you have survival, and you have production. Now, the max level in any one of these things that you can get from just random villagers without being special villagers is a 3. So basically, we want a 3 in extraction. And if we hold down the left Alt button, you could see that these 2 guys have 2s in extraction. Bud the Lava has a 3 in extraction. And Gundalf here also has a 3 in extraction. He has a lot of 3s, actually. Now, which one should we take? Should we take her? Should we take him? In this instance, I'm going to take this lady, Budzilawa. Budzilawa. I'll take that. Let's have a chat with her. You can see here, I'm creating a new settlement. I'm looking for good people willing to join me. Let's take her and say, right, she's great. She wants to go. Great, see you there. And now she will take the long walk from here all the way back to our place. And as you can see, there she is on the map. She's going to walk over there. So we just got to wait for her to go back to her house. Now, top left-hand side, you can see she's got a lot of things that, well, those are things that our villagers are lacking. Go into N, people management. You can say, oh, she's not very happy. She's 27, by the way. She has no house, no food, no water, and no wood. Well, let's fix that. We can go on to houses. Now, we know this simple small house here. We can assign that to somebody. Oh, sorry. I don't hit C because that's bad news bears. I hit the wrong one. What we can do is double click on it and we have a tenant. Let's double click on that and we'll say, right, you now live there. Boom. Okay, done. And what we can also do, now that we know she has a house, and that should disappear quite simply, but she'll be fine. She just has no food, no water, and no wood. That's because she's not going back to her house, and recognize it. She has no job. We are now going to assign her a job. Double click on that and go here and say, hey, you now have a job. Boom, return. We can even go back to her house, click on H and say, right, we want our wood cutter house. Okay, boom, done. And now here, you'll know that that house is assigned to the woodcutter person. Good. While she's walking, I'm going back into town and I'm going to grab a few things out of that chest that we had because we're going to need to provide more food, and just waiting for rabbits to appear is really not going to work well for us. All right, here I am. I'm going to now take my bow and I'm going to take my 10 copper arrows, and that should help us out a lot. I can also take some of this other copper stuff, which is really cool, but like I said, I want to hopefully save that for selling. In the meantime, let me go back to my house. You can see all the complaints look like they're gone. So our lady looks pretty happy. Her happiness is going up. She's working on that. So that's where you can tell her skill is increasing. And let's go see what she's doing. Oh, one thing I forgot to say is we can go into our, let's see, extraction houses. We've got woodshed. And what we want to do now is decide how much of stuff she does. Notice she's got no assignment, so she can't do anything. She doesn't know what to do. We can go in here and say, right, we want logs, we want sticks, we want firewood. I don't care about getting planks and spruce bark at the moment, so let's hit that. So we'll accept that, and now we can say, right, how much of everything should she be doing? The ideal assessment is that we put 100% intensity. It means she gives us works all day long. She'll rest and everything like that, but don't worry about that because it's not like they can't do 100%. But you can decide the percentage of each thing. So if you notice per day, the more I increase this. So if I say, right, I want you working on 60% of the time, I want you gathering logs and 20% sticks. Actually, you know what? If I'm going to go 15% sticks, that's 75, and 10% firewood. Yeah, I know, no resources. That's simply because you've not gathered it. We are at 85, so I'm going to just whack that all the way up to 75. So I get as many logs as possible. We could change this as it goes along. It doesn't have to stay this way. It's not static. But at the moment, logs are my biggest need. So let's get her doing that. We'll confirm the intensity. And then let's head back and see what she's doing. All right, there she is. She's got her new worker clothes on. She's up there in the worker station doing stuff and things. She has got some stick in there, one stick. She's got her stone axe that she's got in her hand. And by tomorrow, we should start seeing some logs pop up here. Now, if we wanted to use this, we can ask her to move and let us use the workstation. I don't care to do that.
Will be the most recognized craftsman in the world.
Well, if you think so, okay, it's good news. In the meantime, what I want to do is, sadly, I am going to take this. I probably should have thought ahead and move it to be right here. I feel like this is a good spot further back. I want to just kind of keep this space open. I should have thought of that ahead, but that's okay. Ooh, and we've got rabbit, which is good because we are going to need some more food. So I'm just going to cook, then I'm going to move this well, and then we'll start talking about putting in our central storage. All right, there you are. I've moved my well back. Now this house, my house, seems well out of place. I'm probably going to move it back, but I will do that later. I'm not going to do that now, but I can now grab myself a drink. Let's see. I used some of her logs, but if you notice, there are 4 logs here and some sticks. So she is starting to earn her keep, so to speak. Now, we need to build a central storage. So, like I said, because we need a place to manage things for people. And out here near our farm, we could do that. One of the things I'm going to try to do is we want to put a barn out here, right? Because the people working in the farm, we can gather all that stuff and then we can use it to create other things. So if we create kind of an area where we put all of our stuff that we gather and we can make new stuff. You'll see what I mean. Okay. In the meantime, what I want to do is I want to create a road. I want to create a road from here all the way back to here. I don't care if it's straight or not. It just needs to kind of indicate that's the way we're going. Boom. Okay. And there you go. Now we know where our farm is. That's going to give us the ability to decide where we're going to put our resource storage. I want to put it right here. I'm just, don't want that, gathering these stones because they become important soon. Now, let's go in and we can go, how's survival? No, we want storages. We want our first central storage. We can decide which direction we want it. Do we want it going down that way as you go past? Or do we want it another way? I think I just want to do it like this so it works off of the road. Let's have a look. That looks okay, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. It's close enough. We need stone, see, and that's why I was gathering all that stone because I knew this was a pretty intensive building and now I'm going to have to make a new hammer. So let me get myself further down the road and I'll bring you back. All right, before I finish, I just realized that I got a new skill in survival. Now, normally I just keep pounding this up to 3, which is great, and I think it's a good thing to do. But since we have 2 points, the next tier, we have something called Survival Sense. Survival Sense says you can see sticks, stones, mushrooms, feathers, and herbs in Inspector mode. Believe it or not, this is very important, especially when hunting and looking for stones. So I'm going to plop myself in there. Yes, I am. And Inspector mode is your left alt. And now look at all the things you can see. And this is the guy and the reason why I grab it, because you can never find them. And without Inspector mode, it becomes almost impossible, so there's a stone, to find them. And here's another one. This is the thing that's going to heal you when you're out and about hunting. So take a look here. Is it under food? Yes. So broadleaf plantain, it gives you +5 health. And if you have to gather it when it's available, because it's not available all year long. Did it say here? It says found in the wilderness during spring, summer, and autumn. Yeah, so in the winter you can't find it. But make sure you gather as much as you can when you see it, because it will come in handy. Now, this far along, let me go grab as many logs as I can from my lady friend and see what she's done. And then we can continue on our resource storage building. All right, she's got 7 logs. Oh, man, that's fantastic. That's a big help. See, that's 7 less logs I had to go run around and find. Let's go over here. This thing takes an absolute ton of resources. See, look, we're still 3 short on the logs just to build the frame. Oh, sorry, I got to catch myself. All right, I'm going to keep building this up and I'll bring you back and I'll show you what it's like when it's done. And we're back, and have a look. There it is. We have managed to build our resource hut. There it is. It's huge. Took a lot of resources to make, but this is our central storage place. Now, the biggest thing to note is that it has this chest here. The chest can hold 1,000 kilograms, which is awesome. It's also shared storage. So if we were to build another one of these somewhere else on the map, you would be able to access not just what's put stored here, but stored in there, because they just combine the 2 inventories. So it's a brilliant way to expand your village without having to run all the way back to one place. Now, the other thing to note about that is we can now take, hey, look at her. She's not ready for work yet today. Huh? Okay. You can just stand there. We can go in here and we can take all of her water, firewood, roasted meat, right? They're going to complain. And then we can go over to the woodshed and we can take all of her axes and firewood, sticks, and axes. Everything is now missing. We can run over to central storage and we can plop them in there. And we no longer have to worry about making sure each individual house has been maintained. Once our village grows, we only have to go here. So let's throw all that firewood in there. We'll throw the logs in there. We will throw the sticks in there. I'm going to throw those in there now because I only need that. We can take the food that we had for her and our water bucket. And if we look in our N, and we can say, right, well, this will catch up, even though it says there are none. Oh, that's right. We need food storage. That's what we need. Forgot about that. So that's the last thing we'll have to build. Right now, we've got wood, if you notice, because we put it in there. Food, you cannot distribute food through here, but you can distribute axes. So we need a food storage area. I don't think we can build those yet. Let's take a look. Storages, we have resource. We can do a food storage. So boom, there you go. So let's put this baby right next to our central storage right here. We'll leave a little gap in case we want a road, right? Boom. Okay, so boom. Okay, I got that. Let me get this built and then we will put everything we need in here. We'll get there. I just wanted to show you guys. I'm running around trying to find stones, hitting left alt. Well, you just instantly find them all. It's such an amazing game changer. It's almost like a cheat code having this spidey sense. Okay, let's get back over there and finish building this. And we're back. And our food storage is done. And if you notice up in the left-hand corner, there are 3 icons. If we go to N and management, we can see that she's not happy. She has no food, no water. We go to buildings, extraction. We can see there's no tool. Now, let's fix those. First, we'll start with tools. Put the stone axes, which I actually forgot to do, into central storage now. Let's do that. Done. Where is it? Oh, no, I hit the wrong one. Sorry. There we go. Let's do that. They are now in there. 3 stone axes. So that should take care of her. When it comes to tools, there you go. See, little icon disappeared. Now let's go over to our central food storage and we shall put in the, oh, I forgot to grab the food. I must have put that over here because I mistakenly said that this place was going to be okay for food and water, and it is not. So your central resource is not good for food and water, but your food distribution place right here, food storage, is. So let's go there, go to food section, put that in, and put the roasted meat in, and boom. Give her a second, and she shall... Oh, I didn't take the axe again, did I? Did I take those axes? Oh, I tell you. I did not. How come she has no stone axe? Well, let's go figure that out. She should have it. Stone axe is right there. Yeah, she's fine. She'll be okay. See, she has all the tools. The extraction unit, the woodshed, has no resources, and that's because it has no logs to be able to make firewood. But that's okay. That's not a problem. Our biggest thing that we needed to know is that people are demanding 30 wood, water. We got it 30 food, which we have at the moment. We need to fix, and 15 wood. Only 15 because it's summer. They'll demand more in the winter time, and that means we've done it. We've managed to get our first villager up and running. Let's go have a look at her. She's got a job.
I should take some clothes off.
Yeah, I know, I'm warm. She's got her tools. She's got her food. She's got her water. She's got a house. And basically everything she needs. Well done, her. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you had a good time. I had a great time as always. We got a villager. We've got all our needs satisfied. And we're ready to move on to the next thing. And we'll have to do that in our next video. If you enjoyed the video, do let me know. Leave a comment, leave a like. And as always, feel free to subscribe. And until the next one, I'll see ya.